Imagine reaching into an old drawer of coins, maybe one that has been sitting in a drawer for years, and pulling out a simple brown penny that looks ordinary at first glance. Now imagine the same coin being the key to a surprising payday. That's exactly the case with the 1966 Lincoln penny. What looks like a common piece of change could, in the right condition or with the right variety, turn the tables for you. If you think all pennies are just worth 1 cent, stick around, because this coin might shock you. And remember, at the end I'll tell you how to find out its true value and how you can sell it, so don't go anywhere. The 1966 Lincoln penny has a special place in American coin history. It came right after the coin shortage crisis of the mid-1960s when the U.S. Mint temporarily stopped putting mint marks on coins to discourage hoarding. That's why if you look at your 1966 penny, you'll notice there's no Denver D or San Francisco S mark under the date, unlike other years. All 1966 pennies were struck without mint marks, making them different from many other dates in the series. At first glance, people think that takes away from the collectability, but in truth it makes the story of this coin more unique. Most 1966 pennies are very common and still worth only face value if they've been circulating. Billions were minted. But here's where it gets interesting. Collectors on eBay and major auction houses are not just after any 1966 penny, they are searching for those in extremely high grades or those that show special varieties. Coins that have survived in pristine condition, often described as mint state, can sell for surprising amounts. Even coins that look only slightly better than average might be worth more than you'd expect. On eBay, you'll often see circulated 1966 pennies selling in small lots for a few dollars, mostly as collectible bulk. But single coins graded by services like PCGS or NGC can command serious premiums. For example, coins graded MS65 or higher with full original luster have sold for more than $50. Go up into the top grades like MS67, and now you're in a whole new level where some coins have sold in auctions for hundreds of dollars. In fact, one stunning 1966 penny in MS67 red condition went for over $1,000 at a major auction. That's a huge jump for a coin most people overlook. Varieties also add another layer of excitement. Collectors look for doubled die errors, where the design or lettering looks slightly doubled. Some 1966 pennies show doubling in the date or letters of liberty. Others may have off-center strikes or die cracks, which are mistakes during the minting process that can turn an ordinary coin into a highly desirable piece. These error coins often bring in big prices, especially when they are dramatic and easy to spot. Even minor errors can sell for $20, $50, or more depending on how visible they are. Another thing that makes the 1966 penny appealing to collectors is its composition. These were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. With copper prices always shifting, even the melt value is higher than modern zinc pennies. But collectors don't melt these, they keep them for the history, the errors, and the condition. And when you combine rarity of grade with collector demand, that's when you see surprising results at auctions and on eBay. The real game changer is grading. A raw coin pulled out of a jar might look nice, but unless it's professionally graded, buyers may hesitate to pay top dollar. That's why the most valuable 1966 pennies are almost always those certified by top grading companies. Auction houses report that buyers are willing to pay far more for a coin that's been authenticated and given a grade. This is why you see ordinary-looking coins suddenly breaking into the hundreds or thousands once they're in a slab with a top grade. So here's the takeaway. That penny in your hand from 1966 might just be 1 cent if it's worn and scratched up, but if it's sharp, clean, and full of luster, it could be a small treasure. Error varieties make it even more exciting. Collectors are constantly searching online for these coins, and the market has shown again and again that the right coin in the right condition can surprise you. Like I told you at the beginning, a simple coin like this might turn the tables for you. If you've got a 1966 penny sitting in your change, don't dismiss it just yet. Check its condition, look closely for errors, and if it seems special, it may be worth a lot more than 1 cent. Want to know exactly how much yours might be worth today and how you can sell it for the best return? Drop a comment below with the word price and I'll tell you not only its value but also the selling procedure so you know exactly what to do with it. The 1975 Lincoln penny is part of a coin series that's been around for over a century. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over time, this coin has become one of the most widely collected and closely studied coins in American numismatic history. The 1975 edition might not be a century old yet, but it has its own unique features and value points that make it very interesting to collectors. More than 5.4 billion 1975 Lincoln pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint alone, and an additional 4.5 billion were struck at the Denver Mint. That's a huge number, which is why the average person assumes these coins are completely common and worthless. But like many coins, rarity isn't the only thing that determines value. There are key factors like condition, mint errors, die varieties, and even slight differences in the strike, that can make certain 1975 pennies worth significantly more than others. Let's start with condition. A 1975 penny that's circulated and has wear and tear might only be worth its face value. But if you happen to have one in uncirculated condition, shiny, no scratches, full details, it could be worth much more. Coins graded MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC regularly sell online for between $10 and $30. That might not sound like a huge number, but when you consider it started as a penny, that's already a 1000x return. And the higher the grade, the higher the price. A 1975 Lincoln penny graded MS67 recently sold for $115 on eBay, and one in MS68 red, meaning the coin kept its original copper luster, went for over $350. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. 1975 pennies were struck at two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small D under the date. Both types can be valuable depending on their grade and whether they exhibit certain errors or die varieties. There were no pennies struck at the San Francisco Mint for circulation in 1975, but proof coins were produced for collectors. These S-mint-proof coins can also carry value, especially if they come in pristine condition with deep cameo contrast and no spots or marks. But the real game changers when it comes to the 1975 Lincoln penny are the error coins. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare mistakes from the minting process, and 1975 was a year that saw several fascinating errors. One of the most popular and valuable types is the double die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment, causing the design elements to appear doubled. The doubling is usually most visible on the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." A 1975 Lincoln penny with a visible double die obverse can sell for anywhere between $100 and $1,000, depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition. Some dramatic examples that have been graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC have reached prices of over $1,500 at auction. Another major type of error that can increase value is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the strike, leaving part of the design cut off. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin tends to be, especially if the date is still visible. A 1975 penny that is off-center by 50% and shows a clear date can easily fetch over $250 or more online. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck, leaving a curved clip on the edge. One 1975 penny with a double curved clip error sold on eBay for $185. Broad strikes, die cracks, cuts, and struck-through errors are also all possible on this coin, and collectors are paying attention to them. On eBay, listings for 1975 Lincoln pennies vary widely. You'll find circulated coins being sold for a few cents, but that's not what we're focused on. Look at the certified and high-grade coins. One MS67 Red Denver Mint 1975 penny sold for $165. Another raw uncirculated 1975 penny with strong luster was listed at $75 and sold within a day. Proof coins with the S mint mark are going for anywhere from $10 to $80 depending on the strike and preservation. And then there are the error coins. One double die obverse example sold for $340. Another with a dramatic die clash, where the reverse design is faintly visible on the obverse, was listed at $450 and accepted a best offer. Heritage Auctions has also seen some interesting sales. A 1975 Lincoln cent-graded MS67 Plus RD, meaning full red and near-perfect quality, sold for $432. Another 1975D Lincoln cent with full red luster and strong details graded by NGC at MS68 RD hit $576 at auction. These aren't isolated incidents. They show that when the coin meets the right condition, demand is strong, and prices reflect that. The full steps concept that applies to Jefferson nickels doesn't apply here, but eye appeal matters just as much. Collectors want clean surfaces, no contact marks, and strong original red color. Brown or red-brown coins typically fetch lower prices unless they feature rare errors. But a red coin, especially with no carbon spots or discoloration, grabs immediate attention. Now here's something interesting, not all 1975 Lincoln pennies were struck on copper planchets. A few known errors exist where the penny was struck on dime planchets or on foreign coin blanks. These mistakes are incredibly rare and have gone for thousands of dollars when certified. One example of a 1975 penny struck on a 10-cent planchet, making it both smaller and silver-colored, was certified by PCGS and sold for over $2,500. There are also struck-through errors, where foreign materials such as grease or fibers obstructed the die and left unusual markings or textures on the coin. These are a bit more subtle but still collectible, especially when documented clearly and submitted to auction with professional photos and certification. Now if you've got a 1975 penny and you're wondering what to do with it, the first thing is don't spend it, at least not yet. Take a close look at it. Examine the color. Is it a rich red, or has it dulled to brown? Look for any unusual doubling, misshaped designs, or signs of misalignment. A simple magnifying glass or coin loupe can help you spot things your eyes might miss. Weighing the coin is another step. A standard 1975 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, it could be struck on the wrong planchet, and that's a major clue to value. Once you've examined your coin, take clear, well-lit photos of both the obverse and reverse sides. Make sure you capture any errors or points of interest. If the coin is uncirculated or appears unusually sharp, consider submitting it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. While grading can cost between $30 to $60 per coin, it often adds tremendous value, especially if your coin is in the MS66 or MS67 range or features a document error. If you don't want to go the grading route right away, you can still list the coin on eBay or Etsy with clear photos and accurate descriptions. Mention everything: color, mint mark, condition, any errors, and check other similar listings to price your coin competitively. Many sellers also include best offer options, which helps attract buyers who may be willing to pay more than your asking price if they really want that specific coin. Coin dealers and coin shows are other avenues. Bring your coin in and get an opinion from multiple dealers if you can. Some might offer you quick cash, while others may offer consignment options where they sell the coin on your behalf for a commission. Facebook groups and numismatic forums are also places where collectors and buyers gather, and where rare 1975 Lincoln pennies are traded. So now, as we reach the end of this video, let's return to the beginning. That little copper coin you thought was worth just 1 cent? It might just turn the tables for you. Whether it's a mint state red beauty, a rare double die, or an unusual off-metal strike, the 1975 Lincoln penny has proven it can surprise even the most experienced collectors. If you have a 1975 penny, take a close look and tell me everything in the comments: mint mark, condition, if it has any errors, anything you see that stands out. I'll personally reply with the estimated price based on today's market and guide you on exactly how you can sell it to make the most of it. Don't underestimate your pocket change. That penny might be worth more than you think.